We are live. What is going on? My beautiful brothers and sisters, welcome to Astro Fenixx. Flying into the moment yet again and radiating love as always. And we are going to be hopping into this video, finally, talking about Venus and Mercury in Scorpio and what it means as we begin to uncover these intimate secrets and the potency of our beliefs and what we are manifesting, our thoughts, our creative projects, our relationships. A lot of intense energy going on right now. A lot of intense energy. But, and I'm going to wait a little bit just so some people can hop on. And I'm also probably going to share this video in a couple of places. Trust that you all are having a lovely day so far. Today's been pretty introspective for me. Moon's in Pisces, and I'm getting my lunar return. So, definitely it's like kind of like I've hit like a culmination point, and now it's time to like set forth some new intentions and move forward. But in any event, we're going to wait just a little bit just so people can hop on. We can talk about these energies. I brought my cards today. I have the Rider-Waite Tarot that I'm going to be working with. And yeah, we're going to have some fun here, guys, even though I know these energies can be rather intense and dark and all that stuff. But it's all good. It's all good. Let's see. We get to sharing this. Let's see, share directly, send it here. Okay. And let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's see, share on Facebook. I guess I could share it to it's okay. I'll actually put it up on Facebook later. I'm not really super worried about it. Shared it to Instagram, but I will worry about putting it elsewhere later. So, welcome, guys. How are y'all doing? Hope that you guys are having a beautiful day so far. I know this is kind of an awkward time to be doing a live video, but because I know a lot of people are going to be working and stuff like that. But the good thing is that when you get off of work and you see your boy Astro Fenixx just drops another astrology video talking about these transits, on your way home, you can listen to yours truly talk about these energies and what is really going on. And I do feel like I have a rather unique perspective on this, considering the fact that I am a Scorpio sun representative. I have that energy in my 12th house, along with Pluto and Mars. So I deal with this energy quite on the norm. And even taking it a step further, I have my South Node in the 8th house. So a lot of people can kind of be feeling South Node-ish kind of vibes with this because, Venus doesn't like to be in Scorpio, right? And I would almost go to say that Mercury doesn't like to be in Scorpio, or more so, Mercury has a lot of dark thoughts in Scorpio, and it can get very, 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 very psychological, and we can kind of trap ourselves in these weird dark corners with our thoughts. So there's that kind of energy going on as well. But just some quick housekeeping stuff. And I know, interesting enough, in my daily oracle card message, I said to conceal ambition and to not really announce all of your moves. And I'm not going to announce all of my moves, but I'm going to announce some moves. First move I'm going to announce is that I have restructured the pricing on all of my services. So if you go to my website, astrofenixx.com, you click on the services tab, you'll see that I actually have restructured everything. I think the tab for the sale that I was running for like the past several months is still up, but I'm not running the sale anymore, so I gotta edit that. But I have restructured my services to make them more accommodating and to make them more available, because I know not everyone necessarily has the money to drop on like a high dollar reading, stuff like that. But I still want to make sure that I give the greatest service that I can possible, and I want to make these readings a lot more available to you all. The other thing is, though, with the website itself, is that it's been up for renewal and I haven't paid for it to be renewed yet. And honestly, I'm not in a financial position to renew it because I have some other bills that are a little bit more pressing. So if you go to my website, more than likely after Sunday, it might not be there, but that doesn't mean that it won't come back. I just have to, work a little harder and get that money so I can pay for it. But that doesn't mean that you can't order a reading from me. You can always email me at info.astrofenixx@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook if you happen to be on Facebook. You can hit me up on Instagram. Send me a direct message on Instagram. I'm Astro_Fenixx Rising on there. So even if I don't have my website up, it might be down for maybe a week or so until I get the funds so I can renew it. It is what it is, right? Life happens. But that doesn't mean that I won't be doing readings or won't be available for readings. So that's that. The website, I'm gonna work on renewing that, restructured my prices so I can make that more available to you all. And I'm also considering restructuring the way I do my daily content. So haven't exactly figured out what direction I'm going to go with that, but I want to make it much more engaging. I want to increase the engagement on this channel, and obviously I want to increase the amount of people that I'm reaching. So those are just a couple of things that, I've been sort of ruminating on, and especially with the daily readings and stuff like that. That's why I was going to make this video earlier, maybe an hour or so ago, hour and a half ago, but I just needed, one of my good friends kind of brought to my attention that maybe I need to restructure the way I do my daily readings. And I'm not gonna lie, initially my first thought was fuck off. But I know it was still in good taste, and I know that they meant well and they were just trying to help. So that's honestly kind of classic Scorpio energies, like getting right to the chase, getting right to the cut, not bullshitting. And it's like, even though I kind of initially came back, I didn't say it immediately to him, but I was like, yeah, fuck off. But because I'm a stubborn Scorpio, right? But in any event, I do realize that I do want to increase the engagement on this channel, and I do want to reach more people. So by restructuring my daily content and making it more entertaining, then I believe that I can do just that. So we're going to see how that goes. That's the reason why I didn't go live earlier. And then I had lunch and I was watching Pokemon and stuff because, yeah, your boy is a big kid. But anyways, now that all of that is aside, we can actually get into these energies. So let me ask you all a question. How have you been feeling? Have you been having darker thoughts more than usual? Have you been feeling like your relationships, be them romantic or friends or family or work, have you felt like they've just have you been sensing some bullshit in them? Have you been wanting to get to the chase? Have you been feeling this hot and cold kind of energy when it comes to these areas? Yeah, there's a reason for that. It's because we have Venus and Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio is about this darkness. It is about these secrets. It is about this potency. And a lot of times people like to run away from dealing with this scorpionic energy. That's the reason why scientists are trying to say that Scorpio is only 6 days out of the fucking year. Scorpio season is only 6 days because of this new fucking 13th sign. And they're trying to kill Scorpio, but you can't kill Scorpio. You can't kill Scorpio. You can't kill Scorpio. They're trying to kill us. It's not cool. But everyone has been feeling this energy. It's been dark. It's been crazy. It's been a little twisted. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. All right. A lot of times I don't even bring out my Scorpio energy because I know how powerful it can be. I have Mars on top of Pluto and Scorpio and the sun there, and they're all within 4 degrees of each other. It's in my 12th house. So it's either I really bring it out or I just keep it subdued. And a lot of times I deal with the intensity on my own, and I don't really bring it out and show you guys what the fuck is happening, right? But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. You think about it, Mercury rules the mind and communication, but also rules in many ways our interactions, especially in our daily lives. And then you have Venus, which deals with, in many ways, it does deal with creativity, our value systems, and relationships. But it does also deal with this sort of manifestation quality. And what's going on with it being in Scorpio is that it makes it difficult. The reason why Venus tradition doesn't like to be in Scorpio is because Venus is a lot more concerned with, the luxuries. It likes to rather be in Taurus, where it can be more concerned about the luxuries and sort of like the surface level stuff. Not to say that Venus ruled people are surface level. It just goes to say that they much rather focus on these sort of external factors, things that they can practically deal with. Scorpio is not practical energy. It's deep, it's mysterious, it's a lot of times painted as dark and evil, but that doesn't mean that this energy is like inherently bad. It just means that you're going to get dragged to the bottom of the ocean, and you have to realize that you can actually thrive down there if you really want to. It's like you realize that, wait, I'm mostly water anyways, so this is actually in many ways my natural habitat. So Venus, when it goes through Scorpio, Venus is sniffing out all of the bullshit when it comes to a lot of these areas, when it comes to health, when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to how we feel about ourselves and our self-esteem. It's going to be incredibly hard to run away from it. And what's going to happen, what you see a lot of times when Venus goes into Scorpio, is that people begin to put up barriers, especially when they're relationships. They begin to put up barriers because they don't want to hurt other people. They don't want to hurt themselves. The problem with Venus trying to put up barriers in Scorpio is that they always inevitably get knocked down. They always inevitably get bulldozed through because, first of all, Pluto ain't fucking having that, right? Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So even though Scorpio does rule boundaries, it's like we can create something, but then it has to be destroyed too. It's just like a seed. Think about it. A seed, there is a barrier that holds all that information within that seed. But what good is the seed if it doesn't break through the barrier? Right? What good is the seed if the information within that seed doesn't break through that barrier and become vulnerable? You got to think about it. Scorpio is ruled by a scorpion, which has this hard outer shell, this hard outer exoskeleton, right? It has pincers, it has a tail that stings, but then on the inside, it's pretty much mush. It's soft. And what a lot of times what you will come to discover with Scorpio is that they may have this sort of hard exterior and may present themselves as rather intense. But if you really get to know a Scorpio or the scorpionic energy on an intimate level, you'll realize that they're just some of the biggest softies in the zodiac. I'm not gonna lie. The signs that know this the most, I would say, are Pisces and Virgo. They get more so than most of the other signs that Scorpio is a big softie. Like, seriously, probably even a bigger softie than Cancer, because Cancer always gets like this. They get this sort of rep for being like these soft, super empathic beings, whatever like that. They can be a little bit cold and go inside their shell, but Cancer gets like this whole energy of being like the healer. But Cancer is cardinal water. That's forceful water, whereas Scorpio is fixed water. It's a still pond. It's a block of ice. It's water in your cup that hasn't moved. But then you move it around and bam, that's right. That's Pisces right there. And then even though it's within this physical container, you can move the container, and then that's mutable Earth, Virgo. That's why Virgo and Pisces understand Scorpio probably the most. They understand that through all that intensity, Scorpio is looking for purity, and they're looking ultimately for a deeper intimacy. That's what we're all going through with this Venus and Scorpio. We haven't had a lot of Scorpio energy this year. We just haven't. We have had a lot of these outer planets in some of the later signs. Jupiter's in Sagittarius. We have Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. We have Neptune in Pisces, Uranus and Taurus. We haven't had a lot of focus on this scorpionic energy. So when it comes at the time of fall, it's kind of this interesting energy because it does give you these Halloween vibes. Why do you think Halloween even falls in the time of Scorpio? And what's funny about it is that Halloween's kind of like a joke, right? You dress up as scary, sometimes not scary beings, and it does have this sort of Piscean feel to it, but it's a little bit darker. Whereas you play into this sort of dark and twisted fantasy, and you masquerade as something that you're not, that you really aren't, but it comes during the time of Scorpio season. So it's meant to give a sort of fright. It's meant to give a sort of jolt to your system. It's meant to sort of actually take you out of, you know, this current reality in a sense, and kind of, you know, puts you into another place, and it gets you to think more. It really does get you to think more. Speaking of thinking, Mercury in Scorpio. And what's going to make this one interesting is that it's going to go retrograde in Scorpio. Now, compared to the other Mercury retrogrades this year, ironically, this one is probably going to be the most subdued. The reason being is that the Mercury retrograde in Pisces that we had was fucking gnarly. Why? Because it went into Aries and then retrograded back over Chiron. That's why that shit was freaking crazy. The Mercury in Cancer, that one was hell because it was coming off these eclipses that we had in Cancer. That one was fucking insane, just to put it bluntly. Then we get the Scorpio energy. And what's interesting about it, because Scorpio is intense, so this Mercury retrograde will be intense in a sense, but what you're going to find is that a lot of your psychological programming is about to get rewired. It's about to get rewired. Mercury in Scorpio is very much so psychological. It's very much so the investigator. So it's almost going to be like we may have these predispositions or these assumptions about our reality or the people in our life, you know, our relationships, our career, our health, our purpose. We may have these predispositions toward these different things. But when Mercury retrogrades in the sign of Scorpio this year, what's going to happen is that a lot of that programming is going to be rewritten as Mercury goes back over what we thought was true or what we believed was true. It has to do this before it comes into Sagittarius. Why? Because Jupiter is there. Jupiter is laying the foundation of the new adventure that we're going to go on. It's laying the foundation of it. So Mercury can't go into Sagittarius before it does its retrograde, because if we take this old psychological programming onto the new adventure, we're not going to experience it in the way that's going to really uplift us and really make us feel this jubilation for life, this joy for life. We're not going to appreciate the journey, and we may even repeat some of the same mistakes. And let's be real, no matter what level of evolution you are in this life, you're going to repeat something. You're going to repeat some mistakes. You're going to go through some sort of cycle. That's just the way it is. But if we can sort of mitigate the way that we do that, and if we can actually learn and adapt, then you'll find, as Sid Good Vibes said, well, you will rise. You will rise. There's a reason why Scorpio is represented by the Phoenix. There's a reason why I call myself Astro Fenixx. Rising from the ashes. And here's the other thing about it. A lot of times when we hear about the Phoenix rising from the ashes, a lot of times we do focus on it being that little dust cloud on the ground, and then the whole rising aspect. We focus on that, you know, the death and the rebirth. But there is this middle point where the Phoenix is living. There is this middle point. So a lot of times when it comes to the symbolism of this bird, we only focus on its birth and its death. But what about that middle space? What about that middle line? That's another thing that we're coming into. And Venus coming into Scorpio is going to allow us to appreciate that middle line. Because as hot and cold as Scorpio may seem, there is a sort of spectrum in between it. That spectrum is what Pisces and Virgo understand, and actually helps Scorpio energy to articulate it. because there is this middle line, there is this middle spectrum. Everyone likes to think that Scorpio is just hot and cold, black and white, it's this way or that way. No, that's not true. There is this sort of middle spectrum. There is this middle path. The problem is that Scorpio doesn't always know how to articulate it. They don't always know how to articulate it. What does the Phoenix do when it's not rising and it's not just a ball of ashes? It's benevolence. It's bringing fortune. It's bringing beauty. It's bringing this sort of warmth, this comfort. It's cries, it's cries, it's calling. It's like music that uplifts your spirits. That's what it does. It is a transmuter of energy. It allows you to go into these darker realms within your mind, within your psyche, and uplift them. That's what the Phoenix does when the Phoenix isn't just a ball of ashes and is not just like, being birthed from the ashes again. There is a middle spectrum. I think a lot of times we forget about that. We forget about that middle spectrum. We forget about that middle line and that sprint. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast last night, and I listened to his podcast a lot. Great, just awesome stuff. And he had an individual on there. I believe it was like an ex-military man. And normally I wouldn't listen to stuff like that just because, like, especially in the New Age community and all that sort of stuff, you get like you get a lot of people that are all anti-war, anti-this, why do we have to be fighting and all this sort of stuff like that. And I get it. I get it. I have Mars in Scorpio, and even though it's in the 12th house, I still have it. So this struggle and this fighting, whatever like that, I think while I do believe that we can create a world with far less struggle than we have right now, I believe that there's always going to be some type of struggle, because if there wasn't, we wouldn't really evolve and grow. If we don't have something to work against or go against, like not necessarily work against, but almost sort of like, if we don't have some sort of challenge, then what is the point to living? So here's the thing that this guy said, though. He was like, which is kind of ironic, because it was initially like what I was thinking was like a big fucking deal, because in astrology, we take your birth chart and we tell you things about your life based off of it. But what he was saying is that the day that you were born, the day that you die, are two of the most insignificant days, because you don't even live a full 24 hours in those days. And I thought about that. I was like, that's crazy. Especially as an astrologer, I'm asking people about their birth date, their birth time, their birthplace. And I'm able to see, and I'm able to tell these individuals and articulate to them, how their life kind of unfolds based off of what I'm seeing. But there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. We focus so much, especially in astrology, we focus so much on the birth chart. And I guess there are technically death charts, even though that's a little bit more taboo and stuff like that. But we focus a lot on that. We don't really focus on that middle line, that middle ground. And, I think a lot of times what happens is that, especially here in the spiritual New Age community, we get so focused on the purpose, what we were born to do and stuff like that. And just like maybe even, for such as myself, I've been having anxiety about my own death and stuff like that, which makes sense because I have Scorpio in the 12th house. So I'm very much so like subconsciously like kind of like tapping into that energy and stuff like that. But it's like I've been so focused on that aspect. I haven't been focusing on the now. And that's the beautiful thing about Venus and Scorpio, is that Venus and Scorpio is going to allow us in many ways to focus more on the now. It's going to allow us to really focus on the present, because Venus is very much so a sensual sign, very much so about the senses, touch, taste, what are they? Sight, hearing, touch, taste, what's the other one? Smell, I guess. I'm trying to remember them all. But of course, we have so many more senses than that. That's the thing, though. We have so many more senses than those 5 senses. But Venus is very much so concerned about all of these different things, Sight, hear. My goodness, I can hear my own voice right now. Oh my gosh, I can hear myself hitting this table. That was like a very bad beat. Like that's what Venus is very much so focused on. So when we have this energy, as these planets meet up, and Venus will inevitably cross over Mercury because Mercury will retrograde here, there is going to be this juxtaposition when that happens between, you know, the way that we really do value ourselves on a deeper level and how we can develop a deeper intimacy with who we are, our life, and what we really are wanting to strive for. And then, of course, how we think about these different things. It's really important that we get this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. This might be one of the most important Mercury retrogrades that we get in a while because, like I said, we cannot take these self-limiting beliefs and constantly be thinking about these things going into Sagittarius. You can't do that, especially with the fact that Jupiter is not going to be in Sagittarius very long. It's going to be coming into Capricorn and going to go headfirst into all of the South Node, Saturn, Pluto energy. This is a very pivotal moment. These last few months are very, very fucking huge. Thank you. As Spelzing said, yes, we got almost 100 years to complete our purpose. There's this whole thing where people are wanting to try and figure out their purpose at this very moment, and it doesn't quite work out that way. We need to focus on that middle line. We need to focus on that. And how does a phoenix react and act and proact in that middle line, in that middle space? Not just being so much focused on, you know, the rebirth or being so much focused on, you know, the death, but what is going on in between. So look at your life right now and look in between the leaves, metaphorically. Look in between the leaves to see how can you develop more awareness in these areas. And what is your soul telling you? What barriers do you have? Because I guarantee you, these barriers that we have, a lot of the barriers that people put up these days are the result of trauma. And trauma can be as simple as someone rejecting you in high school, like a crush or whatever like that, or a serious car accident that really leaves you wondering what the purpose of life is. Not only that, but if you're watching this video, you are incredibly fucking blessed. Like the more I listen to like Joe Rogan podcasts and that he has other people on and other people in general, the more I realize how blessed we are in America. And it's funny because I came from this predisposition that, you know, America was this big bad wolf, right? But there is this sort of, and I know not everyone watching this is from America, but like westernized worlds, there is this, it's the idea and the freedom ultimately of these places that why wouldn't you want the whole world to have? Think about that. Why wouldn't we want the whole world to have that sort of freedom? We may not necessarily agree with each other. We actually have the luxury within this country, I'm talking about the USA specifically, we have the luxury in this country to argue about gender politics. That's a luxury where we have all these different genders. That's a luxury that we have. There are other countries, mainly like in the Middle East, where you can't talk about this stuff or you'll get beheaded. And people here are mad because people won't acknowledge them by a particular pronoun. You go somewhere else and you get nowhere close to that conversation. We are focusing on the wrong shit. We are focusing on the wrong problems. I promise you, we are focusing on the wrong fucking problems here. I wrote that I was gonna hide. My spirit guides got mad. Dude, I am like a professional hermit. You know, like I have been like this is an individual I connected with like a week ago, and we were I need to get back with her, but we were talking about astrology and numerology, and it was kind of nice because I I felt like I don't meet people in my everyday life, or outside the internet that know about their astrology. Like she knew her sun, her moon, her rising, her Venus. I was like, what? She knew her house placements. We're talking about numerology. I'm like, whoa, what? This is crazy. I don't really get that often, and I want to get it more often. And then we're talking about doing meetups here in our local area so we can connect with other individuals. I reached out, I talked to her that night, and then I reached out back to her when I found her on Instagram, but then I haven't reached back out to her. What am I waiting for? Because I have this sort of social anxiety, I guess, too. That's another part of it. But it's like, I think a lot of times we focus so much on the appearance of such. We focus so much on the appearance of stuff. And Venus and Scorpio is like, Venus cares about her appearance, sure, absolutely. But Scorpio is a no bullshit kind of energy. So this is kind of one of those moments where you kind of do want to look at that hot and cold. It's like, okay, who are you? All right, I am this. All right, go for it. Show people. Do it. Why are you hesitating? These are my guides talking to me right now. Like, I'm telling you, these are what my guides tell me, all right? They're like, why are you waiting? Go for it. What are you afraid of? Do that thing. Oh, well, like, I just, last time I did that, oh no, I don't know. I mean, I gotta go. That's what people are feeling. They're feeling this darkness and this weirdness and this anxiety because it's like their guides are being like, yo, just show who you are. Here's the thing about Venus and Scorpio. Venus and Scorpio can definitely kind of get, and I'm going to go very sexual here. Venus and Scorpio can definitely get caught up on like sexuality and these appearances and wanting a certain thing. But then it's like there's this deeper thing. Venus and Scorpio is about our kinks. So what's your kink? What turns you on? What's something weird that turns you on? I'm serious, guys. I'm serious about this. What turns you on? And it may seem weird and different and maybe even like, occult to some people. Now, I do not endorse pedophilia or anything like that. That is gross. That is fucking disgusting. And I do believe that that is evil. I will just go ahead and say that bluntly, right? I guess there are some people out there that are turned on by little children. I don't know if they're turned on by little children or if it's just a power trip. My intuition and gut's telling me that's more of a power trip and that they are unable to connect with people their age. So they have to manipulate someone who's younger than them, like far younger than them. That's fucked up. But Venus and Scorpio is talking about our kinks, these sexual desires. What turns you on? What turns you on? What's something that, like, when you touch it, it's like steam, it's hot, spicy. Venus and Scorpio is very spicy energy. Think about it. Mars is a co-ruler here. Venus coming together with this kind of Martian-like energy is very spicy. It's different. It's like, and like, take for example, all right, evil beware, we have waffles, Raven. Now, I'm not going to lie. I have had the biggest crush on Raven from Teen Titans for the longest time. And she's a darker kind of character. And a lot of times I've noticed that I myself like these darker characters or these characters that kind of put off this particular persona. That doesn't mean I don't like the bubbly characters, whatever like that. It's more of like a, maybe it's kind of more like a Gemini, Libra, maybe even Leo energy, whatever like that. It's a little bit more bubbly. But, this is about like, what turns you on, This is Venus and Scorpio is like, it's like, man, if it doesn't turn me on, man, I don't really want to bother with that, If it's not gonna like just make me just like quiver, or like shake uncontrollably, I don't know if I really want to go for that. You know what I'm saying? So you want to take that sort of energy into like all areas of your life, not just sex and relationships or romantically, but like your career, your health, and stuff like that. And of course, it's sometimes you need to build up, foreplay is important. I think that's the other thing. People don't want to do foreplay. People want to skip foreplay and go right to the action, go right into the orgasm, whatever like that. And this can be a metaphor even for when it comes to our manifestations. So say you want to be a famous actor, okay? For example, people just want to get on the big screen and get into a blockbuster movie and that's it. But they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the foreplay. What does the foreplay entail? Reaching out to people, getting in shape, networking, connecting. This is foreplay. But we have to get excited about foreplay. Like if you can't get excited about foreplay with Venus and Scorpio, I'm sorry, you're not really gonna make it that far. I'm just telling you like how it is. I'm just telling you how it is. You got to get excited about the foreplay. The Scorpio is a very intimate sign. Okay, it's a very intimate sign, and it comes after the sign of Libra. So if you think about it, Libra second house is Scorpio. So in relationships, it's very much so important to take care of the other partner and to not just be so focused on yourself. It's important to take care of that other person. It's not just to be focused on our own satisfaction, our own climax, but to find that intimacy with other people and situations. Have some foreplay is important. If there's anything that you get out of this video, know that foreplay is fucking important. It goes both ways, by the way. Okay. Just saying. I know this maybe seem a little weird, but I'm just bringing it truth, authentic, and I don't know. This video may get flagged, whatever like that. But I'm just saying, girls that don't want to go down, go down. Guys that don't want to go down, go down. Promise you, I'll make a relationship better. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. Let me hop into some of these comments. Virgo 10th house, you should do hermit classes. I'm a professional hermit, guys, if you don't know. I have Jupiter there, so it's not like I don't have fun by myself. Why don't you do meetups and charge? That's the intent. That's the intent is to do these meetups and like charge like per head. Actually, my moon is in the 4th house. Venus in 8th house, so I don't talk about it. Oh, so you have this energy naturally. Venus in the 8th house, you have this already. Interesting. I could totally see you in a teepee smoking weed, taking people on stargazing. That would be so cool. Out in the middle of the desert. I like bossy women that let me be the boss. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm having too much fun with this. I really am. But this, like, in somewhat seriousness, like, because, like, what did I title this thing? It's like uncovering secrets and intimacy. We all have secrets, right? We all have secrets. Some secrets need to stay secrets. All secrets will eventually come to the light, but the timing of the way that they come to the light is dependent upon you. Some secrets need to stay secret because if you let them out, if you let all the tricks out of the bag, then think about it from this angle. Think about it from like a career angle or like, out in the market. If Elon Musk had released all of his secrets when he was starting to build these companies, he would have a lot more competition and he would not have the market share that he has. I mean, it is a game of musical chairs, Scorpio gets this. This is why Capricorn helps Scorpio, because the thing is that Capricorn kind of helps Scorpio to detach emotionally, which is hard for Scorpio because Scorpio is naturally super ambitious, but Scorpio still very much so cares about people and is empathic. Not that Capricorn doesn't, but Capricorn still understands the game and understands that you can't really reveal all of your secrets because you feel like you may hurt someone, or you feel like, oh, we're all one. We are all one. Or you feel like, oh, but I mean, I want to help people, and you will help people. But Capricorn helps Scorpio to understand that, it is good to keep some secrets. Pluto's in Capricorn right now, so I'm channeling Pluto here. It's good to keep some secrets. It's good to keep some things from the marketplace as you develop them, as you grow them, and then when you bring it out, it's like, oh wow, I've never seen this before. This is cool, or oh, this is very different. But imagine if you announced that beforehand. Then you get this anticipation. You get a lot of this. You get expectations, and then a lot of time you're going to break people's expectations, and then you're going to get resentment. You're going to build resentment. This is going to be a very, very dumb example I'm about to use, but I'm a fucking nerd, so deal with it. So the new Pokemon games, they have not revealed a lot of information. They're coming out November 15th. 2 days before my birthday. Yay. They're coming out November 15th, but they have not revealed a lot of information. The last game that they revealed so much information about it. They left nothing else a secret. It was like it's like you got in bed and you already knew what you were getting. You already knew what moves they were going to do. And you're like, oh, well, this isn't really exciting. But this time around, the Pokemon company is like, yeah, we're not going to reveal too much. We're not going to reveal too much. We'll kind of feed you little tidbits here and there, a little bit of foreplay, right? But it's like, we almost didn't get any foreplay with the last Pokemon games. They just came right on and told us what was happening. They told us like the plot line, the story. They revealed a lot of the Pokemon. A lot of things got leaked early. But this time they're doing like a really good job of kind of keeping things under wraps, letting out little tidbits here and there. So that's what you want to do. You want to let out little tidbits here and there because that's how you get people to keep coming. I really need to take my own advice. That's how you get people to keep coming. You don't just put it all out there. I mean, there are times to do that, but this isn't the time to do that. Venus and Mercury and Scorpio. This is not the time to just put it all out there. You know, you don't want to give someone the whole buffet because first of all, you're giving them too many choices, and we have choice here, and we have infinite choices. But if you give someone an entire buffet as opposed to just a sample of something, they're going to want to keep coming back. But if you give someone the entire buffet, then like, oh shit, do I want that thing? 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 Like, and then you breed this sort of indecision within yourself and other people because you've laid it all out there on the table. This is why I like restaurants more than I like buffets, because at a restaurant, you know, you have many options, but unless you're like really fucking hungry, it's not like you're going to order more than one entree. Whereas at a buffet, you can get a lot of different stuff, you know? And generally, after you leave a buffet, you're full. You kind of feel, your energy is a bit weighed down. You're just sort of like, oh, you want to go to sleep, you know, whatever like that. It's a weird kind of energy, you know? You know, you want to just kind of sample a little bit, right? Think about this right here, okay, guys? Would you rather go to your regular run-of-the-mill buffet and you can eat whatever you want, or would you rather have a small little appetizer that was cooked by Gordon Ramsay or like a top executive chef? Which one would you rather have? Would you rather have just like that taste? Or would you rather have like this giant fucking meal? Think about that and apply that to your life and see what happens. You know, I don't know about you, but I much certainly rather have a tiny little appetizer that was cooked by one of the best chefs in the world than to just go to a buffet. This is a moment, especially with this Venus and Scorpio, is certainly about quality over quantity. Certainly. A lot of people like to think that it's always quality over quantity. That's not necessarily the case. You know, quantity is definitely important, but in the terms of this Venus and Scorpio, quality is super fucking important. Super fucking important. Like I said, would you rather have like that little taste like a breadcrumb and it wants you to go back for more? If I had like just a tiny little appetizer by like a top chef, that's gonna make me want to go to the restaurant so much more. If I go to a buffet, I'm like, oh, I can have this anytime I want. I can come back here and they're always gonna have it out. It loses its excitement. It loses its passion, doesn't it? So you gotta spice things up. Why do I love buffets so much? Because buffets are good. Some buffets are actually good. There's nothing wrong with buffets inherently. I'm just using it for this example. And both options are great. If you could find a really good buffet, like, but I think I'm a little jaded because I worked for a buffet. My first job out of high school, I was working at Golden Corral, and I worked there for 3.5 years. Some of the most amazing people I've ever worked with, but I'm a little jaded when it comes to that, admittedly. So, and quality outweighs it in this particular season. When Venus and Mercury are in Scorpio, quality does outweigh quantity. There are times, and I can't necessarily think of anything astrologically off the top of my head, where quantity would outweigh quality. Just getting it out there. There are times, but for right now, this is certainly a time about quality. It really is. I'm gonna toot my own horn, but I feel like this is one of the most thorough messages as far as an astrological transit that I've done in a long time. Cause I'm not gonna lie, there was for an hour or so there, I was feeling a little down on myself, admittedly, but I think I just took that fire and that passion. Shout out to my friend, you know who you are, who kind of kicked my ass, and I had to kind of kick my own ass. But after that, I just used that as I use that as motivation. I'm like, you know what, I can do this shit, and you can do this too. But I really do feel like this is probably one of my better live videos that I've done here. I really do. So I definitely do appreciate you all joining me and stuff like that, and spending this time sharing this space with me. I'm going to be drawing cards for yeah, I'll draw cards for the 12 signs, but I'm gonna try and keep it brief. I don't want to just go too much into it because I have other stuff that I kind of want to do today. So we're going to do that. These two cards are going to be the overall cards for everyone. So the first card overall for everyone that we have is the Hierophant. So this is about being your own authority in this case. This is about being your own authority. And this Hierophant card does kind of give me these Sagittarius kind of vibes. But this is also, it's speaking to, like I've said multiple times throughout this video, there's a reason why Mercury has to retrograde here in Scorpio before it goes into Sagittarius. So this Hierophant is about, acknowledging your higher authority, acknowledging that you actually can know what's best for you, and also acknowledging that your beliefs do in many ways kind of rule you. So you have to look at your beliefs and see, do they serve me or do they not, right? So we are going to go with Scorpio first. So Scorpio, the card that we have for you, Scorpio, we have the Six of Cups. So this is definitely talking about soulmate relationships and connections. In many ways, this card can apply to everyone, but the Six of Cups is saying here that, there's maybe some sort of blast from the past. I think really, Scorpio, you're going to start to feel more inspired, and you're going to almost sort of take the sort of inspiration and motivation that you had as a child and begin to apply it to your daily life. You may start to do things. You may start to maybe take up things that you used to do before, but if anything, it's just the vibration of the excitement of that when you were a kid and you applied it to something that you were interested in. You're going to take that excitement and apply it to something else. Libra, the card that we have for you, we have the Moon card. So you definitely want to pay attention to the Moon. The Moon right now is in Pisces. So it's making, that nice king comes over to you. And you also, of course, want to pay attention to this full moon in Aries that we're going to get, because that's going to be opposing you. So it's definitely going to be dealing a lot with relationships. Libra, you are definitely going to be intuitively tapped in. This energy is in your second house. So a lot of this is that you're going to really start to feel more into your worth, and you're going to start to really feel into who's willing to engage in foreplay with you. No, seriously though. All right, Virgo, the card that we have for you. Virgo, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about my dad here. Virgo, we have the Lovers card. This is in your third house. Yeah, some of you are getting married. Some of y'all are definitely in new relationships right now. Don't fight it. Just go with it. Sorry. Just go for it. Just go for it, Virgo. Fall in love. Fall hard in love. And then rise in love. Walk off into the sunset. It's beautiful, Virgo. It's okay. You can let someone into your world. You'll be okay. I promise. I promise. Leo, the card that we have for you is the Three of Wands. This energy for you is in your 4th house, dealing with family, your emotions, friendships, your childhood. The Three of Wands is definitely a growing up period. Leo, you're going to grow up a lot during this transit. You're going to notice yourself kind of getting away from maybe old toxic behaviors that have kept you small, and you're really about to grow up in a very profound way. It may be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but come Sagittarius season, when the sun reaches there and when all these energies reach there, you will definitely understand why you had to go through what you went through. But this is a major growing up time for all Leos. All right, Cancer, the card that we have for you. We have the King of Pentacles. This is your 5th house. So Cancer, there's going to be someone in your life coming in. It could be an earth sign. It could be a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, more than likely a Capricorn. But there's going to be an individual that really wants you to know your worth and know your value. And you're going to get a sort of actual endorsement from this figure, whether it's an actual money endorsement or whether it's like an emotional or spiritual endorsement or just some simple encouragement. Cancer, you are being really set up to follow your heart, and there's going to be someone that really encourages you to do so. All right, Gemini, the card that we have for you. We have the Page of Pentacles. This is for you, your 6th house. So Gemini, for you, you are definitely most so working on your craft and stuff. You're working on becoming that king in many ways, like that, that Cancer tree. You're working on becoming that king. But you have to, this is really about enjoying that middle line. Remember how I said that, a lot of times we focus on the beginning and the end, and we don't focus on the middle. Gemini, you're really going to be focusing on this middle line, your daily routine. So you're going to notice that there are going to be certain temptations that come up in your daily life, and whether you really kind of go towards these things or not. Remember, not all temptations are bad, but you have to be discerning on which temptations to keep and which ones actually uplift you, and which temptations actually kind of hold you back from becoming the king or queen that you want to be and you are. Hello, Quantum Shifts. Thank you so much for joining. All right, who are we on now? We're on Taurus. Taurus, the card that we have for you is the Magician. 7th house energy. Taurus, you may manifest a relationship as well. Considering the fact that you are ruled by Venus and it's in the 7th house for you, and Venus rules the 7th house, very similar to Virgo, you may be manifesting new relationships. I'm not necessarily knowing if it's going to be romantic per se, but definitely you're going to be attracting individuals into your life that get your magic and that actually see what you're capable of, and that can see it's like, oh wow, this is a very powerful individual. Let me connect with them. And then it's sort of like that case of iron sharpens iron. Surrounding yourself with people that are going to hold you accountable and help uplift you to a better place in your life. Iron sharpens iron, Okay, we are up to Aries. Aries, the card that we have for you, this energy is in your 8th house. We have the 8 of Wands for you, Aries. So rapid development, things moving forward in a powerful way. This being the 8th house, some of you might find yourself in a relationship as well. I feel like it's kind of similar to, I feel like it's a little bit similar to the Taurus and Virgo energy. But for you, I really feel like it's just going to be like, things are just going to be moving fast for you this month, Aries. Probably because, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and you are ruled by Mars, so you kind of get this energy. The 8 of Wands here is saying that, you you're going to be uncovering a lot about yourself and your psyche, and it may be hard to keep up with. So for you, Aries, I really do feel like slowing down, ironically, and taking time for meditation is going to simultaneously speed you up and speed up your manifestations. So it's like a slow down to speed up kind of energy for you, Aries. Pisces, the card that we have for you, this is going to be in your ninth house. We have the World card. The World card. You're about to open up to an entire new belief, Pisces, in yourself, in the world, and other people. You're about to open up into an entire new belief that's going to allow you to take off on this grand magical adventure. Like magical adventure, Pisces. You're about to really start to tap in, and this is going to come, of course, through this realization that your previous assumptions about the world and your belief of, where we are heading as a society, a lot of these are about to change forever at a fundamental level. But this is actually going to allow you to come into a new understanding, a new understanding of your purpose and what you're doing here. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius, energy is in your 10th house. Aquarius, we have the Four of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. So you're kind of daydreaming when it comes to like your career and legacy and what you're wanting to move forward. And you're going to be handed opportunities this month that is really going to allow you to shine. But you may have particular walls built up because you may not really believe in yourself. You may not believe that you are capable. By the time that Mercury retrograde happens and the Venus and Mercury meet up, you're going to really start to believe in yourself. But here's the thing, can I like delete this shit or something? Anyways, whatever. Sorry, I got fucking distracted. Stupid shit. Anyways, Aquarius, don't sell yourself short. You're going to be given an opportunity, and you may not even realize your value when you get this opportunity. But don't sell yourself short. You're going to realize it sooner or later. You really are. I need some admins on here so I can delete stupid ass comments. Anyways, Capricorn. Capricorn, the card that we have for you. Capricorn, we have the Six of Wands. This for you is your 11th house. There's going to be some sort of recognition that you get from other people this month, and you're going to be sort of celebrating. People are really going to be appreciating what you have to offer. Some of you may be opening up maybe like a new business. Some of you may be opening up new ventures and new projects and stuff like that. And you're going to start to get recognition for your efforts. It's going to be very fun, and it's going to be, ride that tiger, Capricorn. And we have Sagittarius, Swagatarius, the card that we have for you. I'm okay, Vincent. How are you doing? We have the Six of Swords. This for you is your 12th house. This for you, your 12th house. Six of Swords. This is similar to the Pisces energy, where you're going to be leaving behind old beliefs and you're going to be embarking on new journeys. And it's sort of like, here's the thing though. It's like, in many ways, you could be this person, and this person right here could be your higher self, or it can be flipped, right? But then you have these knives in this boat, and you would think that with the knives in the boat, that there's going to be water that gets into the boat, whatever like that, right? You would think that this boat would sink. So Sagittarius, you've been feeling this sort of sinking feeling because you've been wondering, if I really do change, if I really do move forward, if I really try and do something different, if I leave behind a situation or leave behind a train of thought, how do I know that this boat won't sink? This is where faith really comes into play and is really important for you, Sag. And the final card that we have for everyone is the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. We are building a new world. We are building a new self, a new reality. But we can't do it by ourselves. We do need other people. We are social creatures. We are tribal. ultimately. We really are. We need other people, but we can build great things. We can create beautiful things, but we do need other people. There's a reason why, we give advice. There's a reason why people give advice to us. We may not always take the advice. We may not always, take it lightly. We may not kind of almost see like the cosmic joke in it all of getting trapped in our own ways and our own ego and our own stubbornness. We may be like, fuck off, but we do still need people, and nothing was built without the help of something or someone, right? I guess you can argue that God created, the earth and the heavens by him herself, but I don't even necessarily believe that to be true, personally. I do think that there are higher supreme beings, but I don't necessarily believe that one being per se created this world by themselves. They needed help still. And I think that's reflected in the fact that we ourselves need help in our life. And no one goes through their life without needing some level of camaraderie and some level of connecting with other individuals. Because as above, so below. So when it comes to creating anything in your life and manifesting anything in your life, yes, you can do a lot of things by yourself, but ultimately you do need other people. And that is absolutely fucking okay. Anyways, that just about does it for this video. I hope that you all enjoyed it. I hope that you all got some entertainment out of this. I hope that you guys got some type of, anything that helps you out, any type of nuggets of information. If you resonated, cool. If it didn't resonate, whatever, that's cool too. You do you, and we're all in this together. I love you all so much. I appreciate all of the continued support. I trust that you all do the best that you can with your given circumstances with this Venus and Mercury and Scorpio transits. And I will see you all on the next transit video, and of course the next daily video, and whatever else it is that I put out on this channel. But I love you all so much. Y'all take care, stay blessed, and I will see you all on the next video. And as always, I thought I forgot about this. As always, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.